Welcome, everybody, to LV Home Experts Live. If you guys are just tuning in for the first time, I'm Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, your Las Vegas Realtor. I have my co-host here, Dan French with Guarantee Rate. What's going on, Dan?
Not much, man. What's happening?
Just working. Another day, another dollar.
Yes, sir.
Now we got the man, the myth, the legend, Brett Jennings, another agent with Simply Vegas. He is a part of the team. What's going on, Brett?
Not much, man. Just working like you and trying to take advantage of this weather. Cool down a little bit. Still hot, but a lot better than what it was.
It's cooling down.
That's right. So let me ask you this, Brett. How was your weekend?
Good. Showed some homes and took my Jeep out into the desert.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got a new Jeep.
Yeah. Well, used, but...
Well, I mean, you still got a Jeep.
Fully
New
loaded.
to you, right?
Fully, yeah. That's right.
Now,
absolutely new to me.
Now, I wanted a Jeep. I was going to get a Jeep. I think it was a Jeep Gladiator.
Why
but
didn't you?
I didn't want to spend $60,000 on it, dude.
I didn't spend nearly that. I mean, I think I have 32,000 miles on it. It's fully loaded. I think I paid out the door with everything 29. I mean,
really?
I paid on the high end, but I wanted it.
The handling on it's pretty good, though, huh?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a lot looser than my Audi.
Well, that's lower to the ground.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. But I mean, for what it is with the shocks and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I take that bad boy out and I hit some boulders.
You got a couple.
I was going to ask you guys, do you guys hear that rattling?
A little bit.
Dude, I wonder what that is. I'm going to have to check the audio on something, but go ahead, man. What were you guys saying?
No, I think you got dogs, though, right?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs.
You take them out on there now because of that, or?
We take one. Yeah, so they're both rescue dogs. So one of them's like really emotional. Anytime we get him in a car, he like thinks he's like gonna get put down or something. I don't know. He like freaks out. So.
It takes time. How long have you had it? Long time.
The Jeep? Oh, the dogs. We've had the dogs. Well, I've had dogs off and on for like 20 years, but
we got a rescue dog.
These two, last 2 years.
The rescue dog that we had was it lost its tail. And I don't know if something vicious happened to it, but...
One of mine only has 3 legs.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lost one of its leg.
So it takes time. Like, it's weird. It's like you think, like, dogs are just going to be like...
That's the one that's not afraid of anything.
Wow. Well, the one that I'm talking about wants to fight all the time.
That's what mine does, too.
Yeah. It's like almost like, I'm going to protect myself. But now he's starting to get where he's a little bit more
in the house,
secure and
in the
settled.
house, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But we take him outside for a walk. Anytime he sees another dog or a person, it like...
Do you guys hear that static, or is it just me?
I hear a little bit of it. Maybe you can ask the audience.
Yeah, if you guys hear that static, let us know. Now, there's something going on with the audio, and it's driving me freaking nuts.
I do hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could hear it.
I thought it was just my headphones.
No. Do you guys want to try to clip in the headphones all the way?
Let me try.
Yeah.
Mine's clipped in pretty good, so.
I think I'm in.
Oh, it says no static here. That is weird, but it's clear, but it's annoying the hell out of me.
You said yes. El Ray said yes.
Oh, somebody says it's clear.
It's clean, yeah. It says no.
Yeah, dude, you guys are confusing the hell out of us right now. What is going on?
Okay, everybody raise your hand if it's bad. No.
All right, so today for the show, basically it's you guys can call in, or if you guys have any questions, we're going to be talking about real estate. Go ahead and put it in the comments below what questions that you guys may have for us. But anything that's going on new in the financing world, Dan?
Yes, rates are still good. Everybody out there that's still looking to refi, it's a good time. I think that with you see the COVID thing going on, post-COVID, if you want to call it, we are seeing that it's a little bit harder to get financing done, but we're still finding ways. And
are you doing more refis?
We've always been doing refis. I think everybody, though, the big thing is that did everybody go back to work, or are they working or not? Also, did they take advantage of the forbearance? There's some people on their credit that shows forbearance, but they so if they've never not missed a payment, if they made a payment on it, then we have a problem. But if they took it and then they didn't actually go forward with it, then I'm seeing that a lot of people are taking advantage of the refis.
Yeah.
Yep. So pretty good market right now. I think there's a lot of people out there that, kind of hesitant. We always get this, is it a good market to buy? I think it's a great market and money's cheap. So keep coming, Here's
a question. Dan, do lenders add points for the cash out for the refinance in Las Vegas or rates, is it the same regular or as a regular refinance?
If you're talking about a point, that's like usually a discount point. So that means, are you buying the rate down? That's if you want to get a better interest rate, and it also depends on your credit score, and that's when usually you do that. If you're talking about like origination fees or lender fees, that's a different story. So usually what happens is people, if they buy down the rate, you can raise the total loan amount to cover the lender fee or the discount fee to lower your interest rate. So, a lot of times people raise the rate. Raise the loan amount to cover the cost. So,
Brett,
hopefully that answered the question.
What's going on with you, man? You know what? You haven't brung in a closing yet. What the hell's going on? It's not like you.
I have 2 next week, dude.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
New home that we actually got in contract in May, but it took them.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Building.
Hey, what was that situation with that one deal that you had where the appraisal came in low? And we talked about this on the last show because a lot of appraisals right now, like 4 of my appraisals came in low.
Yeah.
Really?
But one of them, well, actually 2 of mine came in low, but we were able to negotiate it. And another one, I knew it was going to be about $25,000 below, but we negotiated that deal.
How old are the homes?
They're pretty fairly new. It seems
Really?
like the lenders, man, they're like, I'm sorry, not the lenders, but the appraisers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like, trying to be a stickler on things now, man. Yeah. It seems like they don't want to force it to go up.
Doesn't it seem like they always adjust with the market, though? Now they see maybe that the market's kind of stagnated or just kind of leveled off a little bit.
You know what? That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is leveling off, but I think they just don't want to increase like the value.
The same
so
as
rapidly.
it's going. The same as the market's going, the housing market. They're almost like, man, this seems like it's going too quick, too fast. And
So
they get
I had one that was vintage Vegas.
Yeah, which is a great location. I do love those areas, dude. Those things are hot, dude.
And I tell you what, I hadn't really been that familiar with that area until about 3 months ago when I started working with these buyers.
Yeah.
And we've seen a multitude of homes there. And we actually just wrote on another one that's completely redone from head to toe, from windows to AC to everything. And
so you're going to get the deal done?
100%. It's like $100,000 more too. I think so. But we had a situation where we were in contract at $469.
Yeah.
And it was a house that was partially flipped. But you know how flippers here in Vegas will either do all the way, every little thing, or they'll just do some main things and leave some old stuff.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, because when you deal with a flipper, what they're really doing is more cosmetics than anything, which is great. But what about the sewage line?
Yeah.
Okay. And I talked about this because when I did my first rehab, right, the home I think was built like in the early 40s.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was when I started gutting this thing, I noticed that the cast iron pretty much rotted away for the sewage. So I had to run a whole new sewage line on that thing.
How much was that?
Well, here's the thing. On that deal, I bought it for like almost like 18 grand.
Wow.
But I put into it probably about almost like 60 grand, which it was totally bad.
Isn't that crazy? 18 grand.
18 grand.
That's crazy.
Did you make money off it?
Dude, the home is worth like 280, bro.
Oh, okay. Well,
Made a good profit.
Oh, no, I did. However, I don't want to sell it because it was like my first baby.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things I just can't part away with.
Or you're
you know?
renting it, right?
Yeah, I'm renting
So,
it.
yeah, who cares? Cash flow.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Cash flow.
And that pretty much just pays. That's right. Look, if you guys have not had a chance to get that merch, go ahead and get that merch. You gotta plug that in.
Speaking of it,
That was a good plug.
little segue.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you read my mind. I live in the zip code 89123. Hey, that's where I live. I do want to live in 89052, which is Henderson zip code. Oops, that went too fast for me. Where the hell was I? Okay.
Anthem.
Is there a proper realtor to ask if he or she can direct me to the neighborhood with certain race or ethnic group? I just want to be safe. Here's the thing. I'm going to talk about this. As a licensed real estate agent, we cannot disclose things like that because now it's called, I think it's called steering.
Steering, yeah.
Exactly.
Redlining.
Redlining, blockbustering, right? I think so. What the hell does blockbuster mean? I forgot.
It's like that video store. They closed down.
Yeah. Never mind. Oh, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I wanted to answer, and I don't want to make it all about me. So, but there was an Aqua.
Dude, it's about everybody. What was Aqua saying?
She was saying that it didn't. I don't think I answered what she was looking for. I think I didn't get a glimpse of it, so I don't know if you can look at that on there and see what she was saying.
What was she? Her name's Aqua?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. She was saying something about a cash out, and I didn't look at it because I was staring at you guys.
Okay. So it says, Dan, do lenders add points for cash out refinance? Or did I already read that one?
You already read that one. There's a next one.
Okay. No, I mean, does it cost more, the APR for a cash out refinance versus regular?
No, it's APR is your annual percentage rate, and that's what lender fees and all of your fees rolled up in one. So whatever that lender and whatever the title fees are and everything that's included, that's where that comes into play.
Yeah.
So actually, that's how you can shop lenders, because if they have a higher APR, it's chances are they have higher fees.
Ooh. What about does the interest rate reflect the APR?
It does. No, not the APR. But let me say this: if you look at the rate, you have a base interest rate, right?
Okay.
That's what you're getting. But what the rate is on a cash out is it's typically a little bit higher, right?
Yeah.
Meaning, so because it's the program and what you're trying to do, you're trying to pull equity out. That's where the rate comes into play.
So the interest rate does not even affect the APR whatsoever.
APR is more sensitive to your total overall fees and costs. It'll amortize what your total payout would be.
Yeah.
Over the life of the loan, so it does increase. That's why when you see like a loan estimate or a closing disclosure, when you look at how much you're paying off, you're almost paying double if you just paid the same amount every single month.
Yeah.
So it does play a big part in your total fees and your total overall cost of the loan. That's why it's your annual percentage rate. That's broken down as an annual rate.
Got it.
So it's different between a base rate.
That actually makes sense. So basically, don't focus on the interest rate. Focus on the APR. So here's another question. I'm buying a new construction home. What should I look out for in my walkthrough?
What should you look out in your walkthrough?
Yeah, so when you do a final walkthrough, Brett, you want to answer that question? See what your thoughts are?
Well, you need to, number one, make sure that everything's in there that you designed.
What about things pertaining to the contract, right? Like if you sign something that...
Well, we had one with Sebastian.
Yeah.
Where they forgot to put in the pot shelf.
Okay.
So, I mean, this was just came about like a couple weeks ago. So they still have time to do it and stuff like that, but you had to take care of that. So we're going to do the final walkthrough next week on that.
How the hell you forget a pot shelf?
I'm not the builder, man. You know builders. They get caught up in everything sometimes. So it's basically to go through and make sure any little dings, any little chips, things like that.
Yeah.
Anything, you put little blue tape on it and you make sure that it's all fixed. So you do your initial walkthrough and then this is what needs to be fixed or repaired. And then you come through.
Well, let's talk about this. The final walkthrough. So depending on the builder, you can actually have an orientation, then a final walkthrough.
Yeah.
Some builders may only just do an orientation, then that would actually be your final walkthrough. So what I would highly suggest that you do is get a home inspection done. And a home inspection for a brand new home is going to cost a little bit more money. And believe it or not, on a home inspection, it is well worth the money. Yeah. Because the home inspector, they're going to catch things that an average buyer or myself will not catch. That is their job. They spend time at the property to go through it to make sure that everything is on point and also compliance with the Nevada Contractors Board.
I have a question real quick on that. Yeah. So I sold a house, and when I went through and they did a home inspection report, they stated about 12 to 15 things that I needed to take care of. Yeah. So as a person selling a home, I don't want somebody to go into a house that maybe is not fully complete or what they want. So I completed every checkpoint on there.
But I do want to disclose, that is different from a brand new home. So if you guys are listening, Dan is talking about selling a resale home.
Yeah, okay? Selling a resale home. So is there any point, the question I was going to say, is there any point where if those checkpoints are not taken care of, can you still close on the house? Or do they have to be taken care of before we close?
Brett?
It's in the builder's best interest to have them taken care of before he close.
Okay, so now, guys, you're going jumping back and forth. So Dan was asking you the question now about the resale. So on the resale, when they do the final walkthrough, okay, if the items are not done.
Oh, on
what,
resale?
Yes.
Yeah.
What,
Sorry, I
what
thought
do you
you
do
meant
at what do you do at this point, Brett?
You don't close.
Okay. So it would actually be in the buyer's best interest not to close. The only thing that sucks is if you have a closing date, right, and you can't close, and the items that need to be fixed, if it prolongs.
Now you're pushing the loan back.
Exactly.
Issues can come up. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, what about if it's new construction though, and they just didn't fix it, and it's like we have do they push it out like our closing date, and they just fix it most of the time?
Well, let me go back to this now.
That was my question on it.
So on a brand new build. So now, before you do your orientation, what you're going to do is you're going to do your home inspection. Once you do a home inspection, you get the home inspection report back. Now, once you get the home inspection report, you're going to use that as a barometer, right? As a guideline of what needs to be done. So now when you're doing your orientation with the service people, right, or the cell service, right, for that department, for the builder, at that point, you're going to point out all the things that you see on that home inspection report and also things that you don't like. That's where they're going to blue tape it or green tape it. When you do the green tape, that has to do with more, I would say, like drywall, tile, and stuff like that. Blue tape is just more for paint here and there.
Right.
So now once that laundry list is done, this is what you need to be aware of. By the time you're done with that orientation, that builder should have you fill out a form, and you should make sure that you fill out that form with all those items that need to be done. Then at that point, 7 days down the road, okay, they're going to schedule up a final walkthrough. This is where you're going to walk through that property, make sure those items are done. Guys, we've been having a lot of calls that are calling in, but I have not answered the phone.
Are you pranking?
Guys, go ahead and call in. I'll try to answer the next call, so I do apologize.
They're probably thinking, I don't think that phone number works. Let me call again. Let me call.
Exactly. It's like, what the hell?
Chakits, do you got the right phone number?
Yes, we got the right phone number. Okay, so we got another call calling in. Here we go.
Bam.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to LV Home Experts. You are online. What's going on?
Hey, Chuck, it's big fan of your YouTube channel. I just wanted to ask what you think is the best high-rise in Las Vegas to invest in right now.
Ooh, that's a good question.
We just had a topic about this.
Exactly. The only thing about investing in high-rises, it really depends on you as an investor. The first thing I'll ask is, what's your main focus? What your goals are? Are you looking to build cash flow, or are you looking to do an equity position?
Definitely want to just park some money somewhere that would, I think, not only possibly, pull in a little bit of money monthly in rent, but just something I can maybe sell in 10, 15 years and make some money on.
Gotcha. So it seems like you're leaning towards more of an equity position where you're going to do a buy and hold versus today's cash flow. So the next question is how much of a cash flow you are looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up to 750, 800,000. And one of the buildings I really like is the Martin right next to the Panorama.
Ooh, I do like that building. That's kind of hot. Different style from the North and the South Tower. So if you're looking at 750, let's break this down. Are you going to be paying cash or are you going to be financing?
Cash.
Okay, so if you're paying cash, so now the next thing you need to do is find out exactly for 750 what you can buy, and also take a look at the rental comps minus all the expenses, right? So let's just say you are only making $600 a month. So, and this is with all the expenses. So now you take 600, right? Let me do this math here. 600 times 12. That means you're making $7,200. That's with taxes, insurance, property management fees. You take that number, then you're going to divide it by 750,000 because that's what you have all in cash. So you're making less than a percentage. You're not making anything. So the question is that worth it to you?
Well, with the interest rate right now, just, in the regular banks, it's almost zero. So I figured I'd be banking on just that building eventually going up in price.
So if you're only making 1% in today's market, and as an investor, that's what investors look at. So let me give you an example. When I was buying investment properties, I was buying where I was making 16% returns. And now you can make about 3-4% returns, just depending on the unit, depending on the building, or depending on the location. But for this deal, right, if you are banking on cash flow, this wouldn't make sense to you because I could take $750,000, utilize that money into something else that's going to yield me a higher percent of a return. However, if you are leaning towards more of a buy and hold, then that may work. So the next thing you have to do is take a look at our economy. Which direction are we going to go? For me, I believe it's a bad play. I wouldn't pull the trigger. Now, the other thing that you have to take a look at is if you are paying cash, right? Now you're leveraging the bank's money. So you would have to do the math on that. And then you would see if it actually makes sense. Because now it comes down to what these units could actually rent for. Okay? So if you are a gambling man, then it makes sense. But if you're not a gambling man and you want to spend your money wisely, for me, this does not make any sense. What is your guys' thoughts about this?
It seems like a better gamble than it does on playing roulette, though.
100%.
Well, I mean, that's true. Now, here's the thing. People always ask, should I buy a home or should I not buy a home? Okay? There's really no right or wrong answer. It just really comes down to you getting educated. You want to find out what your goals and your needs are, and you need to see if it makes sense for you. And it sounds like this is something that you want to do. Correct?
Yeah. I mean, I love the building. Actually, I have family that own a unit there, and I would rather keep it, hold it, maybe rent it, maybe keep it as a weekend or every other weekend type of a spot. But I just think that building, because of the view is, you can see the entire north to the south side of the strip, depending upon the unit you purchase.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like I go on highrises.com a lot. It's a great website for viewing high rises, and seems like the best building in Las Vegas.
I would say so. Every building has its own style and its own flavor. When I first got into like the high-rise scene, I was like so in love with it. Those are the buildings that I was very interested in.
The view.
The view. Now, it's not only because of the view, because take a look at this. You're on the west side of the 15.
Yeah.
You're right across the street from City Center. You can get in and out of the mix. Mm-hmm. And right down the road, there's all grocery shopping.
That's why
you have a beautiful view.
Yeah.
So I personally, out of all the buildings, I do like that location.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed on the south and the north tower, it's a whole different vibe. For me, I've noticed it's kind of like young and hip people coming in and out. But again, it's what your goals and your plans are with this unit. Now, what units have you been looking at, and what floors?
Well, I'd like to go anywhere above 20. There's a few listings there.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like, stuff pops up and then it leaves in 2 or 3 days. It's weird. On highrises.com, stuff is new and then it disappears and then it comes back 2 months later. So it's kind of strange. Those listings on those high rises and the Martins seem to go either super quick or people just take them off the market. Maybe they rent them. I don't know.
Dude, you know what? You're absolutely right. And that's how smart these agents are. Because if you look at the average days on the market for the high rise, they're not even that, they're pretty long. The average days on the market right now.
60 days?
We talked about this. The average is 80 days. But
80
here's
days.
the thing. We only sell about 60 high rises a month.
That's slow.
Really?
That's slow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's such a certain niche.
Yeah.
Now, also depending on which high rise too, like the co-ops, I would stay away from those. Just due to the fact that, I do like the co-ops, and also depending on what you want to do. But I've noticed like the co-ops, man, it's like the people that buy them, they end up selling them for what they bought it for.
Yeah.
They're just trying to dump it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they really make that much money, and it just becomes a headache.
Real quick, I just wanted to say something. You had family living there, you said, or you want to have that utilized by family?
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that?
You said something about family. Were you utilizing that for family, or do you have, or is there family there?
No. I have a family. I also have family in-laws that own a unit at that building.
That's a good incentive. Yeah.
A couple times a month.
Dude,
Yeah.
The view over there must be like
That's a good
crazy.
incentive.
I know.
You got family already there. That's like a win-win, really.
Yeah,
It's right by
well,
Raider Stadium.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a vacation home for them, and I kind of want to do it more as, I don't know. I'll just really quickly, I've noticed some of these condos that sold in like 2008
Yeah.
are literally, people paid more money in 2008 than what they're selling for now in 2020. And that was obviously before the huge, disaster. But some of these places sold, like especially at the Turnberry, some of these places sold for crazy money, and they're not even bounced back, 12, 13 years later.
Yes.
Dude, they got raped, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just
because
tells
the
you
investors didn't come back to high rises like they did homes.
and there's not a market there. I mean, there's some, but not
Right
really,
there.
I think people buy them more for just vacation and just really for personal use, like where they can come out here and spend time here,
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think they're buying them for a huge return anymore.
Now, hey, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. We really do appreciate it. We
Great.
definitely
Well,
would.
appreciate it.
We definitely would love the opportunity to earn your business. We also have access to all the high rises, so we'll probably get in touch with you sometime after the show. Brett will contact you, and we'll send you everything that's currently available, or that's probably going to go into foreclosure. That could possibly be your best bet. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning
Appreciate
in.
it.
I really
Thanks
do
a lot,
appreciate it.
guys.
And
Thank
you
you.
have a blessed day.
Thanks for
You
calling.
too. Bye-bye.
Oh, that was a cool call, right?
Yeah. He must have been watching the high rise show you put on the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe just got a glimpse of it or something.
Dude, I love high rises though, man, but it seems like an inconvenience.
If you got the money,
Yeah, I guess so, right? If
you
got the
if
money.
you got the money.
There's some people where that's all they want.
Yeah,
They
that's a
live in a
lifestyle.
high rise in Manhattan. They live in a high rise in Hawaii. That's what they do.
I have people that were in like San Francisco and they would stay here and, they had a very lucrative type position. Stay here, a couple months and then they would go back to San Francisco. They had a place in LA. It's like, what do you want? What are you feeling? What's your appetite for this
Yeah.
month? What do you want to do? And I think that's what they're used for.
I think it's a bad deal. I wouldn't pull the trigger.
No, I mean,
$750, dude, for a high rise, and you're only getting like 1%.
Like you said, though,
that doesn't make any sense.
I don't think he was. I think he's just looking to park money. I don't know if he's looking.
If he's
to
looking
like,
to park money for a convenience factor of being have a place to come to and have family and stay like that, then it makes sense. But
what
for
happens
straight
if-
up investment.
But I mean, he's talking about investment. What happens if the market crash?
that's true. I mean, it's all
feel like
risk.
I feel like it's going to come, but the problem is that I don't know when.
I don't
and
know
how much?
I mean,
Exactly.
we get one of those calls at least.
$1 million
once a time.
question, man. If we knew that,
We would not be sitting here right now.
we'd be steering our money right now.
Man, like a Wolf of Wall Street over here, man.
But dude, something about a high rise, dude. Also, the other thing I wanted to tell you with the high rise, you better make sure you have a view from the floor all the way to the top. I'm talking about glass,
Yeah.
because some of these high rises, you have like a balcony that like covers everything.
Yeah,
It's like, to me, that's not like a real high rise view, dude. It's not even.
Or I can
like
see the
worth it.
strip when I turn around the corner and
Yeah.
you know
Look at
what's
my
funny
bathroom
though?
window.
You really don't hear people talk about the amenities that come with those high rises. It's always the view, and it's always like a more of a convenience. But you don't really say like, "Hey, is there a lot of people that really contact you about like, I really like this gym or I don't know something crazy about it?"
Yeah.
Do you ever get anything like that?
No.
Not really.
no,
Right?
why would you buy a high rise? Because they have like a good gym or a good
Well, because the HOA
fire
is so
pit.
high.
Yeah, that'd be like the stupidest thing to
Yeah.
do.
The HOA is really high though. Like if you're paying a premium, you would think like there's something
But like,
extra.
okay, so at
Well-
the Martin, HOA is $1,000 a month for the high unit
Yeah.
right?
And probably what
But-
he's talking about is $1,000.
Yeah.
So that's, listen, if you want it, you want it. You're not fretting over $1,000 HOA versus a 600 versus 1,000.
Well, I'm looking for that Olympic pool. That's why I would get one. So
Well, I guess here's the thing. If that's something that you're really leaning towards and that's something you want, just go
that's a
get it.
perk though.
No, it is.
It's
a
like my
perk.
Jeep. I overpaid
Exactly.
a little bit, but I wanted it and I use it and I'm good
Yeah.
with it.
You what do you mean you overpaid for
I
it?
probably overpaid a couple grand for it. I mean, now that I look back, but
I think cars
I mean,
are hard.
there
though,
were
man.
like 5 people lined up and it's,
You know what? Jeeps, dude, they're going off the shelves. Like
they are
it's
like that's the
frickin'
thing. The
iPhone,
demand
bro.
on it is
Yeah, it's
crazy.
just
So
crazy.
that's why it's like you kind of
it-
have to concede to that if you want one.
Is it less in circulation? Is that why?
No, I think it's just like a high demand, dude.
Yeah, it's a certain group.
Obviously, they got enough people trying to outbid each other.
That's the thing.
I mean,
There was like literally 5 people lined up. I didn't really have to.
it's like the Las Vegas housing market.
Go
you
over
know?
the numbers, and I look back later, but it's like, you know what? Whatever, man.
Well, what do you mean you had 5 people lined up, dude?
Well, I mean, there were a bunch of people that were hitting up on it, but I literally was a Sunday afternoon, and I was sitting there, and
Yeah.
I went online and got the idea, and it had just came up.
Dude,
And I
where's all
contacted
this?
them right
Where's all this money coming from? That's a question.
Just do a down payment. Where do you mean all this money's coming from?
It's called printing, and you get that
thanks,
stimulus
Chuckus.
check. There's another one coming.
Thanks,
so.
Chuckus. I owe you a big Christmas present. You take cash, bro? No.
You got to get that. Wait till that next stimulus check comes out, and you can throw something at it too. There,
I want to give a quick shout out to Cece. She seems like a big fan of the show here, and she's always tuning in. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, Cece's a good girl, man. I believe it's a girl. So that's all we know. We hope.
Dude.
Quit assuming.
I know. Well, I see San
You know
Francisco.
what to say about assume, right?
Here's what threw me off real quick. She has the San Francisco little icon there.
Yeah.
So she's probably a big San Francisco 49ers fan. So it's kind of, last year was great. This year maybe not so, but hopefully they'll turn their things around there,
Go Packers.
Packers. Oh,
You know
man.
who knows play football?
Oh, yeah, your dad's a
our,
cheese.
our quarterback's from San Francisco.
That's
area.
right. Your family is from Wisconsin, right?
Let's go.
Wisco.
Bunch of
Cheeseheads.
cheese makers, man.
Dude, it was getting so freaking hot in here. I went outside. The AC wasn't even on. It's like 75 degrees, dude. I had to like kick it down to like 68 degrees.
Yeah, it gets hot up in here. I think also too you got all this electronics going
Yeah,
on.
and all this man muss up in
Yeah,
here. We gotta
man.
get some
That's
females
right.
up in here, man.
Jeez.
Oh, this testosterone getting thrown around.
Oh, there goes CC right there.
CC's throwing it out. I
Yeah.
love it.
Go
I hope
Niners.
Niners turn it around for her. I'm not a Niners fan, but I hope that it goes for
Oh,
her.
who's your football team?
I just play fantasy. I don't have
You don't have a favorite team?
I mean, everybody's wanting to go Raiders, but
I mean, you gotta
know.
pick. You gotta pick one. Who are you gonna pick?
You're from
dude?
Southern Cal, right?
yeah, but it doesn't mean I got to pick somebody from Southern Cal. There's a lot of people that pick things like
How's about the
Well, I know
Chargers?
you don't have to, but
I mean, all right. Hey, you gotta pick. You gotta pick a team, man. Who's your team?
All right, I'm gonna have to go USC Trojans.
All right, come on, man. Professional football.
bro, you like
For real.
the Packers? They're your favorite
No,
team,
I'll just
right?
say LV. I'll say the Raiders, man, because I
Okay.
live here.
Okay.
All right? I don't follow them avidly. So
Yeah. What about you, Brett?
Packers.
Packers?
Dude, if you're not a Packer fan from Wisconsin, you can't go back to the state.
you know what they said about
Hey,
the Packers
It's our
fan?
religion, man.
You ain't going back anyway.
Hey, they said the Packers fan are the
Not
most
anytime
hardcore
soon.
fans.
It's getting cold right now.
Yeah.
I have a no-go zone until end of April.
They did a survey. They said the Packers fans are the most hardcore fans.
Absolutely.
I thought it was the Raiders, dude.
Dude,
No.
Green,
Is that
Green
not
Bay
true?
Green Bay is a town of 100,000 people.
I think it goes Packers, then it goes Cowboys, and then I think it might be Raiders.
You know the
or-
Packers
or-
are the only team
I don't
that's owned by the people. It's not owned by anybody.
What do you mean it's only owned
You
by
buy
people?
stock into it. It's not
Really?
We have a general manager, but it's not owned by one person. It's owned by the people.
Oh, so it's,
And do you got
It's a
stock in
commu-
it?
yeah, because he said we, so I was like, oh, so you have.
And
part
that's the same
ownership.
thing. That's the same thing with season tickets. If you want season tickets to Lambeau Field,
Yeah.
you have to wait like 2 or 3 generations.
Hey, is this
Like
the-
like my brother
Oh my
and
God.
his wife just registered to get season tickets,
Yeah.
and they're on a waiting list so long that their grandkids might be able to be eligible for it.
Is it like an old stadium? You been there?
No, I mean they remodeled
redid it?
it like a couple years ago.
I don't know. Every time I look at it, it seemed like it's like old school. It's almost like those old Notre Dame games. or
Old school
something.
as far as cold, and you better be a man to deal with it there. You see everybody in the hunter orange jackets.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I was thinking, like, looking at here in Las Vegas, though, I think that with the Raiders here, I think that the Raiders really brought a good element to our city, but I don't feel that everybody's like in tune yet because we haven't been able to go to games yet.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like everybody's like, all right,
That's
we're
like
waiting.
if the Golden Knights started.
All right, guys. Hey, you're live on air with LV Home Experts. What's going on?
Hey, chakits, this is Mark. How you doing?
Good. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, quick question about like open door or those things you get in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that, that little postcard saying, hey, we can offer you $420 for your house, which is actually the appraised value. Because bought my house at $260 back at 2014.
Good pickup.
I'm just wondering what's the difference between actually going through the sight unseen cash offer versus a realtor.
Okay, so this is
thank
how it
you.
works. You're not going to get full asking price because they're in the business to make money.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're in the business to make money. They're not in the business to, give away money. So that's what they're just letting you know what the home is worth. But then what's going to happen is you'll set up an appointment with them, and they're going to go by and they're going to take a look at the home.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're in the business to get the property as low as they can, but also what they're trying to do is transition you into like a Lennar property.
Oh. So,
Okay.
bait and switch, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's like a bait and switch. I mean, sometimes
will.
sometimes it's worth it. It just depends if you want to deal with the hassle. But I guess the question for you is, are you willing to leave money on the table?
Oh, of course not. No.
Then it's not for you.
Yeah, then it's not for you. To me,
100% not for you.
I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. However, now if you had a home that needed a lot of work, but you didn't have the money to put into the deal, then it would probably actually make sense.
Right. No. My house is fine. But as far as getting top dollar, for the house, you know how you want to get into a bidding war. Let's say the house is worth at 410, but it's going to hit that 500 mark once the economy starts, pumping back up again. If you list the house, let's say way undervalued, way under the appraised value,
Yeah.
Are you allowed to do a bidding war for that? Like say, seller will look at the offer in 1 month at this time, so bring in your best. Would that be
what a lot of listing
feasible?
agents will do, and I can tell you this because I'm in the scenario right now with my buyers, which is the house came on the market on a Saturday. We were the 4th buyers to see it last Sunday, and the listing agent basically was going to be collecting offers and wasn't going to have the seller make a decision until this Saturday. But it's listed on the high end in this particular situation. But that's a way of kind of playing it is if you price it aggressively. I mean, you don't want to lowball it too much to start out.
Yeah.
But if you want to make it listed aggressively, then I would say have the listing agent say seller's going to be collecting offers, looking at offers for a week. And if it's a good enough property and it's priced super aggressively, you will have a bidding war will create itself in that week.
How long is the time right now where the turn times for people selling homes? What is that?
Oh, right now it's like 14 days.
14 days.
Super quick.
Dude, things are moving quickly. Now, here's the thing. If you are planning on selling your home, this is what I would actually do. Okay. Speak to like 3 agents. Okay. And some agents will compete because they want your business. Some will do like 5% listings. Some will do like, 4% listings. But here's the thing. I want to disclose. I'm not one of those guys. So please do not call me.
6%, baby.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing.
Pay for what you get,
exactly. And that's what I was going to make a point. Do you want your transaction to go smooth or do you want to have problems? Because when you start to list your property with an agent too low, then try giving that agent a call or something comes up. You got to make sure things are on point. Now, the other thing I would do is do a comparable market analysis, see exactly what the average days is in the market within that neighborhood, take a look at model matches, see exactly what's being sold, see the comparables. So now you have a general idea as far as, okay, my home is worth $450. Okay. If I put the home on the market today, here are the people that I'm going to be competing against with, because you have other homes that are on the market, right? So that's going to be a compensating factor. So now you could do this 2 ways. Number one, you can price it a little bit higher and get talked down, knowing that you're going to get talked down. Or you could price it at fair market value, because you already know within the mile radius, within that neighborhood, the average days in the market, your home is the best on the market, right? The condition is great. You're going to get multiple offers. So you have to take a look at all that data. Then at that point, you're going to do a seller net sheet. Based upon today's customary practices, who pays for what? How much money am I going to walk away with? So now you have that total dollar amount.
Right.
So that's how you figure it out.
Yeah. Last question, Chakits. Let's say in the future, let's say 4 or 5 years from now, how there's a mass exodus in California.
Yeah.
So if I sell it to one of these California suckers, can I list it for $800,000, considering the average inflation is at 1% per month at the going rate as it is right now, since the interest rates are so low?
I don't want to call people from California suckers, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
We have clients there too, man.
Yeah.
Trying to kill our business.
Hey, but you got to look at it. They're coming.
You're not originally from California, are you?
Well, I lived there 35 years.
Okay. So you're excused.
Not Democrat,
So you're excused. So the answer to the question is actually no, because here's the thing: your home is only worth somebody's willing to pay and what it's going to appraise for. So the only way that you could get away with something like that is if you actually found a buyer that's willing to do like an owner will carry, right? Then you can ask for more down and you can charge more money. But from 450 to 800, I don't think that's going to work.
Let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we had to cancel because I had a buyer. We wrote an offer. It was listed at 469. So we said, okay, we'll give you what you want. 460, the buyer's moving here from San Francisco. They want to get something. So we wrote it for 469. Appraisal comes back 2 weeks later at 435.
Wow.
So Yeah, and especially when you're below a 500 price point, that much of a difference is a huge difference. It's not like you're at 1.2 and it's, a $30,000 difference.
Yeah.
You can make it work then. So the seller, we're at 469. Seller says, "Oh, the lowest I'll go to is 459. See ya. Have a good one. We're off to the next house."
Because I think I'm willing to wait, because the thing is, every 10 years, we always have that black swan event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. If you have time to wait, I would wait. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, damn, it's been about 12 years. Where the hell is it? I've been waiting. I got all this money sitting on the damn sideline, man. I'm ready to pounce.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your help. And
Hey, thank you so much for the call in. Other than that, you have a blessed day.
You too, man.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Oh, that was a cool call, right?
That was a cool call. I want to say something about that Californians, though.
Yeah, and you're from California, too.
I am from California.
Yeah,
And
you ain't a sucker, are you?
I ain't no sucker. But I say this.
Yeah.
When you buy a house here and you're from California, you really think they care when they're getting so much money on their houses there for 1%?
Why are you trying to suck on that mic?
I don't know, man. It's just up in my grill.
Sucks on a mic.
It's definitely going to be wet when I leave.
I'm gonna have to spray that shit with some coronavirus. What was your question, dude? I wasn't even paying attention.
No, what I was saying is that I don't think Californians really care about that 1% because they're selling their house for such a premium. They're like, dude, I'll throw whatever I need to at it. If you need a loan, though, that's a different story.
Dude,
but
California's hot right now in the market, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe the homes, what they're going for. It's like Hawaii, dude.
It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. To me, I think it's opportunity and case by case. I mean, I guess there's always going to be. I think anybody's willing to pay for something because they want it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
That's still going to be within reason too, though.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not going to give somebody $100,000 more than what the home is worth on a $700,000 house. I mean, you could, but
it's like this. If you're going to go buy something,
that buyer's at.
If you're going to go buy something and you already have funds and you're not worried about am I really getting a deal or not? The thing is what the difference is in that market, you're coming here and not really worried about cutting corners.
But that's what's happening right now. That's why there's multiple offers, because someone will put something at list price and it's getting multiple offers.
Exactly.
Because they're getting literally twice the home for half the price. However, a lot of those people are still getting a loan.
Yeah. Under 500 and 600. That's
you
big,
still have to mind the appraisal or be within it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're 15 grand off with an appraisal, it'll probably work. But to be 35 grand off on something below,
yeah.
Well, can I tell you,
just doesn't make sense.
In 2000 I think it was 2008 when I bought my first property, I paid $15,000. I think it was 10.
In 2008?
Yeah, I think it was 10.
For what, down payment?
No, in additional.
Oh.
It was a bank-owned property.
Okay.
And it was a foreclosure, right? So
was it off East Bonanza or what, dude?
Nah, dude. No, what I'm saying is I paid $10,000 more.
Oh.
Yeah. I really wanted the property, dude. That's how serious it was.
No, you did tell me that. You said you went above.
I think it was 15 or maybe.
But I mean, look
10,
how
but
cheap prices were there. I mean,
shit, that was expensive back then for me.
What, 2008?
Yeah,
Dude.
bro, I wasn't making this kind of money.
It's not even just that, man. Houses were a lot cheaper, but it's like
interest rates were higher though, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Check this out. I just did a study. In 2008, right, the median home price at that time, right, you're still paying the same price today, even though the price for the median price point for a home is higher than 2008 because the interest rates are lower right now. Isn't that insane, dude?
That's insane. So that tells you buy now.
Call in.
Rates are cheap, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give you a tune-up, finance tune-up. What do you know about that, Dan?
Mortgage tune-up.
Yeah,
Mortgage tune-up. What do you know about that, Dan?
not too much.
Hey now.
Nor do I want to.
Hey now. Remember that?
Yeah.
Hey now.
Yep. I remember that.
All right, hey guys, call in the studio. We got a lot of calls, but I've been not answering these calls, dude.
Oh, you got a lot of calls?
Overpriced stucco
Yeah.
box.
Can you call them back?
Well, I don't want to just call them back. You know what I'm saying?
That person's like, I live in an overpriced stucco box in South OC.
Oh, the homes are made out of stucco out there, huh? Hey, that's another thing I
What's
wanted.
stucco?
That's another thing I wanted to talk
Yeah, let's
about.
talk about that.
Sometimes I will get a call
Yeah.
and people will ask me, "Yo, how come homes out here don't have basements, or how come it's not made out of concrete?" Well, you have to understand when you buy a home out here, it's based upon the elements of the climate, right?
Yeah.
Why do
it's
you
true.
need a basement in the desert?
Well, I mean, because a lot of people from the East Coast, they
Yeah,
have
where I'm
basements.
from, everybody has a
Well,
basement.
exactly. The other thing is that you also have to understand there's not like tornadoes here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there is Area 51, so they might need to. They might need to.
So I sold real estate in Wisconsin for 5 years before I moved out here in 2009, and I can't tell you how many home inspections would fall through because of basements.
Really?
I mean, you'd have 40, the average home there is 40, 50 years old. Then you have these old basements. They're always leaking. They always had mold. There's always something.
You know what? I've noticed that like all the basements here.
Yeah.
It smells like musty, dude.
musty.
Because they don't have, a lot of them don't have sump pumps.
They turn them into like man caves, though, don't they? A lot of them.
What?
Like a basement, don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah, they turn them into like I went to like some really nice homes.
Yeah.
And they had some really nice basements, and I was like, man, some of those basements, it's like you got like a whole theater room and like all the rooms set up and a big theater. It's like,
So
wow.
the big thing in Wisconsin is so you buy a new home, but most of the builders don't finish off the basements.
Really?
But the basements all have legal egress windows.
Okay. Well, it's
So
required. Yeah.
so you'll buy a house that's like 2,000 square feet for a certain price, and then people will live there in the next 5 or 6 years. They'll build up the basement, and it costs you back then. It cost 35 to 40 grand to finish off your basement, but then you're adding on another like 1,900 square feet, 1,800 square feet in the bottom.
So does the value automatically go up?
Absolutely,
Oh, really?
it's like the best money you can spend for
wow.
what you're sticking back into your house for a basement back there.
Really?
Well, you
Out
could-
here, it doesn't mean anything.
You
but back there.
No.
you couldn't dig a basement here. I don't know if it would be cost efficient.
I don't think it would.
Yeah.
because with a lot of the collegiate, is that what it
Collegiate?
is? Collegiate,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry,
Collegiate?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it
That's
just doesn't make sense out here.
Doesn't that sound like seaweed collegiate?
Yeah. In Wisconsin, you need it. You'll get blown over by a tornado, dude.
So what is
mean-
collegiate? Explain that.
Certain kind of rock, like super hard rock. Yeah.
it's like super hard rock.
Yeah. So like even Wisconsin, they have a lot of limestone.
Yeah.
So some of the basements they have to
Really get in there.
In fact, there's a place in Wisconsin Dells in Wisconsin. It's a town of 10,000 people, but it's like an amusement town. And all the rich people from Chicago come up there and get a summer home there. Right outside the town, the way that the limestone's lined up, you can literally be leaning forward so that you're almost touching the ground and it feels like you're standing up.
Wow.
Because of the way that the force field is or what the gravity field is with the limestone.
Yeah.
You can take water on a hill like this and pour the water downhill and the water will run uphill.
Oh,
It's all
trippy.
natural. It is triple, dude.
Triple.
Trippy.
Oh, hey, we got a call. Let's take this call. Hey, you're on air. LV Home Experts. What's your question?
Just tell them that the basement has nothing to do with tornadoes. It has to do with frost level.
It has to do with what?
Frost level.
Frost level. Explain that. That's interesting.
Because
Well,
in
basement
the winter,
is a byproduct of
in the winter, when you have water in the
Yeah.
ground still, it freezes. So when it freezes, it expands.
Mm-hmm.
So that way the foundation does not move. Because look at
That's interesting. I
East
always thought it
Coast
was
people
with
in
like
New York-
tornadoes.
Well, a tornado.
No, it
it
has
also
nothing-
protects you from
it has
tornadoes.
nothing
Does
to
it
do with
not?
tornadoes at all.
It doesn't protect you from tornadoes.
No, it's frost level. Because look at New York, they don't have tornadoes, but they have the basement.
Yeah.
It's frost level because you know how an ice cube, when you pour water in a cup and it
Yeah.
expands,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Because then it does not expand. It expands. So when you have a basement, the frost level goes down 3 feet. But in Minnesota, it goes down 5 feet.
Wow.
Huh.
So it has to, because look at, if you have a slab and then it freezes and then thaws out, there's movement in the earth. So it has to do with frost level. I grew up in the Midwest. The guy in Wisconsin should know that. It's all
Let me ask you a question, though.
That is true, but we were talking in reference of tornadoes at the time, so that's the only reason I didn't.
No, it's fine. I have a question, though. Let me ask you this.
Yeah, he's
So-
calling you out, Brett.
Yeah, I didn't know I was on the stand.
But you know what?
But
That
he's
actually
right.
makes-
He's right though about
yeah,
that.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. I always thought it was like for tornadoes or just in case if something happens. That's where I'm going.
This might be a weird question. So they have basements here. They have the same issue with
Yeah,
you
but
saying with frost.
yeah,
Hold
but
on.
they ain't doing that either.
No, I know, but is it getting cold enough for that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, here. Not there, but here. Like is it
Probably not.
No, it's not.
That's why you don't see a lot of people that even. I mean, there's plenty of people with money in this city. And you don't see even people with money really have it done.
Yeah, I think it's more of like in case something happens, like insurance. So, you know what I mean?
Just in case we get a tornado here.
It's always the fossil. But Chuckies, I always like your details in your reviews on houses.
Thank you. I really
Coming
do
as a
appreciate
financial
that.
analyst, I like the details because a friend of mine, he's a masonry person in California here, and he's very detailed. And I'm going, this guy's good. I always watch your videos.
Cool. You know what? I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Just for that, guess what?
Merch.
We got the merch. Okay, so take a look on your screen right here. You only got one choice that you can pick besides the spandex, and I would be surprised if you pick the spandex. What is it that you would like, sir?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
I just wanted to say that. Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good.
I'll take it for him.
I just want to put in that, this fossil, but also you're watching your videos. I like the details. It's very good.
Yeah.
Like
we
I
appreciate
said,
it.
Reminds me of this masonry. He's really detailed.
Thanks for watching, man. We appreciate
Thank you so much, and you have a blessed day, okay? Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Hey, Chuck, I was going to say, can I get some spandex when I go work out? Remember we talked about that?
As long as you wear it.
I mean, you're supposed to give it to me and deliver it.
Make that an episode.
Yeah.
Well,
With
wearing
Dan
it.
French showing up at the gym in spandex.
But his belly's going to be hanging over the
with a hair
Imagine.
Hey,
How creepy is
Dude,
that?
I'd pay money to see that.
tattoos, a hairy chest, and
Hey,
belly.
I got an unknown call. Should I take it?
Yeah.
Let's take it.
What we got?
LV Home Experts, you're live on air. What's your question?
Yeah, I just got one question for you guys, and I need an answer. What's better for the Vegas housing market, Trump or Biden? I need an answer from each of you.
Oh, you need an answer? I don't have one. To me, it doesn't matter. No matter whoever gets elected, we're still printing money. That is my answer. Who's next? Brett. What's your answer?
Same.
Same? Oh.
I don't want to alienate anyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can't get too political. Dan, what is your answer?
If we say something, then it's just going to open up the floodgates. So we're just going to do a pass on that. I mean, everybody's got their own agenda.
All right. Thank you for the call, sir. Have a great one.
I'm voting for Chuckus.
Okay.
Chuckus, you going to run things?
Shit, I'd be pretty good at it. Let's take another call here. You're on LV Home Experts live. What's your question?
Chuckies, you gonna run things?
Yeah, hello?
I'd be pretty good. Let's take another
Yes.
call here.
Okay. There we go. We just
Who that?
I don't know who that was. We just see how quick that is? We control the board here. But anyway, where were we?
So we were talking about
Basements?
basements. I think originally,
Bro,
though.
that dude called you up, bro. He's like, yo.
Hey, but I think let's talk
Well,
about.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah.
I just wasn't.
I guess that
in the
would make
context
sense,
of what
though.
we're saying.
I've always thought it was just like, just in case tornadoes or hurricanes or something like that.
I think
scientific sense.
going back to, though, we were talking about inspections or something? We were talking about like a home inspection on the houses?
Yeah, I think we passed all that. I think we answered all the
Okay.
questions
We're
here.
good on that.
Let's see. What else
Any
do
more
we
questions
have?
on there?
Talking about appraisals.
Yeah.
If a house was listed higher and why should
Here's a question here. Is it normal for a builder to charge you $300 a day if you're late closing your lender if you don't use their lender? The answer is yes, but normally the per diem is like 1% of the sales price or maximum up to $150 depending on the builder.
Or choose a lender that will close on time.
I mean, things do come up though.
Just
But I noticed when you use the lender's builder, if things, prolong, what happens is they don't have a problem extending things.
Yeah. Because it's their lender.
Yeah,
You
'cause
know-
it's their lender.
I always wondered too. We're talking about appraisals. Like, why is it necessary to really get an appraisal? I mean, obviously it's to protect the lender, but never has an appraisal come in lower on a new home.
Yeah.
Ever.
I just had an appraisal today they're in contract at 526 and the appraisal came in at 545.
Oh, you know what? This last call that came in, there was actually a double feed, and that's why I just hung up because I thought it was like a prank call or something like that. So,
Prank caller.
so here's the thing: you called like 4 times. If you want to call back into the show with your question, go ahead and call in. That is totally up to you. I do apologize. Basically, it was just a back feed, so they were literally on the phone, but I could hear myself on the background.
You can't do a redial?
I could do a redial, but then I don't want to put them on the spot. You know what I mean? We do. We have a lot of callers that called in, man. Maybe we may have to do this at 2:00 in the afternoon. What do you think, guys?
Yeah. I think this is a great time.
Everyone's got their work done for the day. They can watch.
All right, so we got a call. Welcome to LV Home Experts. You're live on air. What's your question?
Yes, hello?
What's your question?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm a first-time home buyer, and I wanted to know the first few steps that would you recommend?
Okay, let me ask you this. First of all, what is your name, sir?
Jesus.
Jesus. The second thing, turn down your TV because we're getting a back feed.
Okay.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. So, Brett, let's answer that question. What would you do?
See how much you can qualify for.
What first steps for first-time home buyer?
The very first thing I would do, I would speak to a lender, specifically Dan French, because number one, you're going to find out how much you can qualify for, and especially being a first-time home buyer, if there are any new first-time home buyer programs, that's the person that's going to be able to let you know about that.
So, Brett, let me ask you this. Why does he have to speak to a lender first?
Because he's going to find out what he qualifies for and what he can afford. I mean, listen, even if you can qualify more, doesn't mean that you necessarily want that high of a mortgage payment.
Okay, so now let's walk him through the steps here. So now that he speaks to Brett, and Brett refers him over to Dan to get qualified, what happens from there, Dan?
Well, I think what we have to find out is what's your goals and what are you trying to do? Are you trying to buy this as a vacation home, a second home, investment home? What is your goal?
I would like to buy it and then would like to rent it out.
Oh, so this is an investment property.
So you want an investment home?
Yeah, and pay it as as I rent it out. Pay it off as I rent it out. That would be like my.
Pay it off as you rent it out? You mean have somebody pay the equity in the home as it's being paid, and then hopefully you build equity.
Basically,
in the
the rent coming in every month would cover his mortgage payment,
right,
and expenses.
So, looking at that, usually you have to qualify with whatever rent or mortgage pay, or if you have a mortgage, whatever rents you have, because I think you said you're a first-time home buyer. So, whatever you're renting, whatever you're paying in rent, including putting down, you have to have a pretty large amount to put down, including what's called reserves, which is extra money in the bank. The bank wants to see that if there's something happens and you in a rainy day, you can come and you can use.
What's the minimum down payment percentage wise for investment?
That's a good point.
Yes.
The minimum down payment really is 20%. I've seen others out there where you can broker it where it's less, but I think with you got post-COVID, there are a lot of these banks and a lot of these, it's called brokering options. It's different. So I would say it's 20% for everybody out there because the bank wants to make sure that when you're buying this, they know you're running a business too. So they want you to have some money invested into this property as well. Also too, a bank will always look at if you have 25% equity in the property. I mean, it's low risk because if they ever had to foreclose, they can turn around and after the whole foreclosure process and all the fees and everything included, that's all profit to them. So the chances of you like really letting that property go by putting 20% down is very slim.
And this is where people get misled, okay? A lot of people think because they're going to buy a investment property that they are a first-time home buyer. Doesn't mean you get the first-time home buyer discount or that program, okay? So when we say you're a first-time home buyer, that means typically it's an FHA loan, which is a Federal Housing Administration loan. That loan is actually, yes, that is put in place for you to buy a home at 3.5% of the base price or the price of the home. However, there's closing costs involved, but it has to be a primary residence. Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, most of those programs, I'm going to say all of the programs really, they have down payment assistance. They have first-time home buyer programs, but a lot of them are zip code and income restricted. So that's something to look at because that might limit your options. So I don't know. I would do that if I had to. If I didn't have any resources, I would definitely try to buy versus rent. But in your case, you're putting 20% down, whatever that purchase price is.
If you're talking about owner-occupied, 3.5%. If you're talking about an investment property where you were running out, 20%.
Well, you can do a 3% though on a conventional product as well.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran or VA buyer, there's no down payment. So
why would that make sense to do 3% conventional versus 3.5% on FHA? For those out there listening,
I think if people don't have a lot of assets and they can qualify, your mortgage insurance and your rate is typically a little bit higher. So if you have a good credit score, it's not going to make a huge difference. I think people would do it.
So your PMI would be cheaper with 3%
more. Because
Okay.
you're lo-
So
'cause
what
your
would
loan
be the
amount.
sense of doing a 3% conventional versus 3.5% FHA?
It's a good question. It's because people just want to save money. They don't want to sink all their money into a house, especially if they're on.
Well, why would
unlimited.
you do FHA then?
Well, FHA is only to 345,000.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So-
guys, let me bring you guys back. So we have a caller on the line.
Okay.
First-time home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
He is planning on renting out the property. Is that correct, sir? Sir, is that your goals, that you want to rent out the property?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it sounds like he's looking to buy an investment property. Okay. So now the question is, what does he do, Dan, at this point?
What you want to do is start an application.
Okay. Where do we go for this application?
It's called VegasLoanGuru.com. No S. VegasLoanGuru.com. And in the green, you can hit the apply now. It takes about 20 minutes. What's cool about this is it'll navigate you through going through the process of putting all the information in. I always say the more details, the better, because it's going to better help us together. And then it's also going to give you an approval letter if you qualify right there. So I think anybody out there that wants to see what they can get, go there and fill out an application and see what happens.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. So go to, what was the name of that website again?
VegasLoanGuru.com.
All right. Go ahead and fill out that application. Then I'm going to have Brett or Dan reach on out to you. We'll get the process going. Thank you so much for calling in. All right. That was a cool call, right?
That was a great call.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I mean,
informal.
Could you actually buy an investment property FHA? Yes, you actually could. I do want to
No,
disclose
you can't.
that. Yeah.
FHA is a primary residence.
Hold on. Let me explain.
Chuck is going to get tricky with
I'm
it.
about to.
You have to
I'm
throw
gonna
it
show-
out?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it out, man. I'm gonna
Throw
show you how
down
this
some
is
real
done.
estate knowledge.
Look, if you got an FHA, it has to be a primary residence. But what happens if you buy a fourplex and you rent out the
Ooh.
3? Gotcha.
Good call.
Now what?
I thought you were going to throw a curveball and say, well, you can have it for 12 months, then buy another property and rent it out. Because you can do that as well.
People do that in Wisconsin all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Duplexes are huge out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: if you're gonna utilize a FHA loan, why would you buy a duplex? You don't have to go with a fourplex.
I think it's about like you said, though, it's return on investment. You know, when you run the numbers for somebody, I think that's where it comes in at.
Yeah, the
right?
more units you have,
Because a
the
duplex
better
is
it
a lot cheaper than a fourplex back there.
Oh, is it really?
Huh.
Why
Then-
would it be more expensive? It's the same thing.
I don't know.
It's just more doors.
Fourplex
Yeah.
is just. I
More
mean,
expensive?
well, I'm just assuming that it's more square feet. I mean, if it's the same square feet, then yeah. I mean,
Hey, you ain't making this shit up, are you?
small ass rooms compared to bigger rooms, like.
All right, hey, we got to stop swearing. We got to keep this professional because I don't want to get demonetized.
Dan, watch your language.
Yeah, right? My
Dude,
mother.
we had so many calls that are calling in, dude. And I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are calling in. I really do appreciate it. We're going to finish up this show. If you guys want to get a hold of Brett, visit brett.lvhomeexperts.com, or you can go to our main site, lvhomeexperts.com. Brett, is there a best way to get a hold of you? Instagram, feed, whatever you want. Plug it. We've got 1 minute.
Just myself, 702-628-3476.
There
Best
you
way,
go.
LV Brett Team at Gmail directly, but through Chuckus, means one the same.
What about you, Dan? Plug
So,
it.
first off, French Workbench, I want you to go there. We got past shows from the radio station we used to do. I'm going to start putting some audio recordings on there as well. You see my hat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can look at me at Dan French over at the YouTube. I got a YouTube channel, Dan French. So you can find me there. I'm putting some stuff out. And Chuckits, you'll find Chuckits over there as well.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. Until next week, Wednesday, LV Home Experts. Go to lvhomeexperts.com. I'm Chuckits Krulsawat with Simply Vegas, and you guys have a blessed day, and we are out.